And all these things forced President Paul Biya to change from who he was, that Ahmadou Ahidjo saw before giving him power, to who he is today.
Hello and welcome to TFA Analysis. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.
I strongly believe many Cameroonians have been asking the particular question: why is President Paul Biya so wicked? What happened that he became so corrupt? What happened that he became an embezzler? What happened that his government failed the people of Cameroon? If you listen to the last video, the previous video, we talk about the goal, the objective, all the good things President Paul Biya promised the people of Cameroon when he took over power. And we saw all those things, nothing coming into existence. Nothing of it coming into existence. And many people are asking, why? Many people at the beginning, they say Paul Biya was designed as the president of Cameroon because of his religion background. He was a Christian. Because of his expertise in the field of politics and his experience as an administrator. What happened that this good man at the beginning, that President Ahmadou Ahidjo, a person from the far north region, from the northern part of Cameroon, would decide to transfer power to somebody from the southern part of Cameroon? What happened that somebody, a Muslim, a strong Muslim, would transfer power to a Christian? Meaning there was something genuine in President Paul Biya that forced Ahmadou Ahidjo to do that. He saw something in President Paul Biya. And that is what many people say. At that time, that President Paul Biya was designed as the president of Cameroon. Because Ahmadou Ahidjo put away religion differences. He put away tribal differences to give power. And many people at that time said God was the one working. And something went wrong. Let me tell you today what happened. That President Paul Biya became who he is today. Wicked, evil, and afraid of his own people. Ahmadou Ahidjo is the main reason why President Paul Biya is who he is today. When Ahmadou Ahidjo gave him power, he looked up to Ahmadou Ahidjo as his mentor, as his father, as somebody he can run to, somebody he trusts, and somebody he promised never to fail. But Ahmadou Ahidjo, immediately resigning as the president of the Republic of Cameroon, regret resigning and wanted a political comeback in which President Paul Biya did not allow him to do that. And that is where their conflict started. Ahmadou Ahidjo resigned as president, but maintained most of his presidential power as party chairman. That was the first problem. Ahmadou Ahidjo and his supporters were in full control of the military, the police, and party, administration, and political system. Because most of those who were heading the military were his close friends and his close collaborators, the police, and he was the chairman of the party. And by then, Cameroon was one party system. Meaning whatsoever the chairman of the party says, it remains. Whatsoever decision the party takes, it remains. And Ahmadou Ahidjo was the chairperson of that party and refused to give away. Ahmadou Ahidjo resigned from the office of president, not from power as president. Hidden in his heart, he was still the president of Cameroon. Because he wanted to be controlling President Paul Biya behind. Because he saw him that he was a quiet person, a genuine and a truthful person. He wanted to be controlling him behind. But when Paul Biya went into the presidency, tested it for some few days, and saw how sweet it is, and the support the Cameroonian was giving him, and the promises he gave to Cameroonian, he never wanted to field. He was seeing President Ahmadou Ahidjo coming as an obstacle. And that was a problem. Ahmadou Ahidjo also failed to resign as chairman of the ruling CNU party, which was a one-party system. This brought conflict of diversification of diplomatic and economic relations beyond France. In January 1983, Ahmadou Ahidjo declared in a press interview in Cameroon Tribune that it was the party that defines policies to be executed by the government. But Paul Biya, in his own interview, he said it was the President of the Republic that defines national policies. Problem started. Argument started. Paul Biya started denying and standing against Ahmadou Ahidjo this first day. President Paul Biya also refused to inherit Ahmadou Ahidjo's enemies. And in February 1983, President Paul Biya visited France and urged the UPC militants who were forced to go on exile to France. President Paul Biya asked them to return home and contribute to national unity. Those Ahmadou Ahidjo forced them to go out on exile out of Cameroon. President Paul Biya pleaded. They were all his enemies, the enemies of President Ahmadou Ahidjo. President Paul Biya asked them to come back and contribute to. Ahidjo hated Paul Biya's reconciliation with the UPC's militants, his enemies. Paul Biya wanted multiple candidates. Paul Biya wanted multiple candidates to run in the 1983 legislative election. But Ahidjo rejected and insisted on the one list system of the party. But Paul Biya said many people have to go in, not choosing through the party system, not insisting and choosing only by him, the president, but many people should run for that post to go into the parliament. The problem of protocol in official ceremonies was another trouble between Ahmadou Ahidjo and President Paul Biya. Ahidjo wanted that in official ceremonies he should arrive late, the last person, not Paul Biya, the President of the Republic, which Paul Biya was not willing to accept. He was not willing to give way to that. He wanted to be the last person. According to Constitution, the President is the last person to arrive in any occasion. But Ahmadou Ahidjo wanted to be the last person because he's the chairman of the party. And this brought conflict. All these things happening between Ahmadou Ahidjo, in which President Paul Biya was looking up to as a mentor, was building a strong heart for President Paul Biya, was making President Paul Biya to start looking people around him that you do not have to trust anybody. And that is how evil was growing in him. In May 1983, it was Ahmadou Ahidjo who launched the parliamentary campaign and made the opening speech by addressing the nation, fellow Cameroon. A prerogative allowed only to the president. Ahmadou Ahidjo took that chance and do it. President Paul Biya became angry, but there was no way to fight his mentor the person who pushed him up. He wanted to reserve himself, thinking that thing would go normal. Ahidjo, in meetings, always wanted to take final decision, which was a humiliation to President Paul Biya. When they would talk and President Paul Biya would talk as if he want to conclude this thing. That is why Ahmadou Ahidjo will come in and conclude everything. And President Paul Biya was bubbling within. That is how the evil was growing in him. Paul Biya's first cabinet was strongly influenced by Ahmadou Ahidjo. And shortly after that, President Paul Biya went in for another second cabinet reshufflement. And on June 18, 1983, President Paul Biya removed most of Ahmadou Ahidjo's close collaborators, still loyal to him, to Ahmadou Ahidjo. He removed them all from top position. Ahidjo was annoyed and organized a meeting immediately of mostly ministers of northern origin and Muslim, and advised them to resign, hoping to destabilize the government of President Paul Biya, which this annoyed President Paul Biya so much, and he was very angry. It did not end there. The struggle continued. Attempts were made to remove President Paul Biya from power using unconstitutional means, such as during the July 1983 Emir graduation, that is the graduation of the military ceremony, an attempt was made by those still loyal to President Ahmadou Ahidjo. In August 1983, during the Cameroon Cup final in Yaoundé, there was an attempted coup plot to eliminate President Paul Biya in the Ahmadou Ahidjo Stadium. Two former Ahidjo's security personnel were involved in it, meaning it was planned by Ahmadou Ahidjo to eliminate President Paul Biya. Somebody he gave power to just 1 year, not even up to 1 year. He was already fighting to remove him. And it was terrible. The tension kept on increasing. And Ahmadou Ahidjo had been failing in all this. And then in 1984, they decided to do something terrible. The Republican Guard, with some members of other units and some civilians, encouraged by Ahmadou Ahidjo, staged a military coup to remove Biya from power. The April 6, 1984 coup d'etat started at about 3 a.m. in the morning by rebel forces, mostly of the Republican Guard, under the orders of Colonel Ibrahim Saleh, attempted to overthrow the government of Paul Biya. The rebel took charge of the Yaoundé airport, national radio station, Yaoundé. They attacked the presidency, the residence of the Minister of Armed Forces, the Inspector General of the Armed Forces, General Pierre Semingi, was also attacked. The civilians, Northerner, who was the general manager of Fonada, called Issa Adum, was expected to become the new interim president. On April 7, 1984, President Paul Biya came out to calm the people. He gave a message of hope that the coup d'etat has ended. And many people were sentenced to prison because of this. Before this coup d'etat, President Ahmadou Ahidjo was already sentenced in absence in prison with some other people. This is what happened between Ahmadou Ahidjo and President Paul Biya. And all these things forced President Paul Biya to change from who he was, that Ahmadou Ahidjo saw before giving him power, to who he is today. He started being afraid of anybody, everybody. He started struggling by all possible means to protect himself inside the presidency. He started thinking of building a government and a system that will maintain him in office up to the time that he will be willing to go. He started believing that some people will still do such things, and started developing hatred toward everybody. The good person, the person that Ahmadou Ahidjo saw in President Paul Biya as a person that would change Cameroon, went away because of the attitude of Ahmadou Ahidjo. He wanted to return back to the office. He wanted somebody that he will be controlling. And this is what he prepared. His attitude gave us an evil man. President Paul Biya suddenly changed. You can just imagine that a northerner would decide to give power to a southerner. A Muslim would decide to give power to a Christian. Forgetting all these differences, you know that there was something in President Paul Biya genuine for the people of Cameroon. But my question is, will Paul Biya hold on to that grudges for all these years? After building up a fence and a defense, a system that will maintain him in power, what happened? That he refused to go back to all his goodwill that he has for the people of Cameroon.